What's up everyone? In this video we have the unboxing of my new Xbox One. Now this video was recorded on June 11th of 2015, and on that particular day I didn't have much sleep, so the commentary that's with the actual video is kinda stale, so I decided to go on and upload this with a post commentary. Hope you enjoy. Now the whole reason I got an Xbox One when I did was a situation of opportunity. There was a unit returned to a store I shop at regularly that was supposed to be in perfect condition, was barely used, repackaged great by the owner, so they went on and took it back, and they were willing to offer $50 off on it. I took them up on this offer, but when I got home, the unit was really scratched up and it did not act right, so I went on and returned it, paid the difference on a new unit, and just went on about my day. Now, as you can see, I bought the Assassin's Creed Xbox One bundle. There was no particular reason for this other than it was the unit that they happened to have in stock at the time. It's a standard 500 gigabyte unit that comes with download codes for Assassin's Creed Unity and Assassin's Creed Black Flag. Now, I don't know how others feel about this, but for me, the quality of the packaging of the product lends a lot to the initial feeling and experience of opening the product and using it for the first time. And I think the Xbox One is a really well packaged product. The game console hangs out in its own little section surrounded by foam, and there's an upper smaller box which contains all the accessories, the controllers, and the like. So it's a really good packaging design if you ask me. Now, the first things you get when you open the accessories box are the codes for Assassin's Creed Black Flag and Assassin's Creed Unity, the Assassin's Creed Season Pass promotional materials, a trial code to Xbox Live Gold, and some of the manuals that come with the Xbox One console itself. The next thing I came across was the controller itself, and I've got to say I really like the feel of the Xbox One controller. Everything is really smooth and consistent with the analog sticks and the trigger pulls. The shoulder buttons are a little stiff, and that's a relatively common criticism with the controller, but in gameplay they really don't interfere. You adjust to it very quickly, and on a whole the controller has just the right weight and just the right feel. Going back to my 360, that controller feels really awkward by comparison, so I definitely like the Xbox One controller. Another pretty awesome trait is that the Xbox One controller comes with some AA batteries, Duracell no less, which is my preferred brand, so that was a little side thing that I thought was rather funny and definitely approve of. The remainder of the accessories box contains things like your power cable, the power supply, an Xbox One branded HDMI cable, and the communicator headset for talking to other players. Pretty cool. Now, the Xbox One console itself is secured very well in the package by some specialty foam around the corners and is protected by a sort of foam wrapping that surrounds the console. On a whole, I really like the Xbox One console design as well. It has this very 1980s Betamax player look to it, and I really like old-looking things. It does use that weird glossy black for part of the top of the unit, and this is what was scratched on the unit I had previously bought. I'm not a fan of that very vulnerable soft plastic that's used. It does look pretty, but it scratches very easy. Even trying to wipe off dust, you'll leave little scratch marks on it. I'm not a fan, but beyond that, I think the console design is very solid. It has a good large exhaust fan on it, ports along all the sides, and is really built to move some air and, get the heat away. I like that. Now, in my opinion, no console unboxing would be complete without a look at the ports on the back of the console. And on the Xbox One, we have the really awesomely designed power port, the HDMI output to your TV, the SPDIF port for digital optical audio output, the HDMI in from your satellite or cable TV provider, two high-speed USB 3.0 ports, the proprietary Connect port. Lastly, you have the infrared output port for specialty infrared transmitters to control your TV, and you have the networking port, which is what I actually prefer. I hook my Xbox One up directly via Ethernet cable rather than wirelessly. Now, of course, I documented the first boot of the console. I decided to power up the console using the capacitive touch sensor on the front of the unit itself, then power up the controller, just to make sure all that was working fine. And the console booted just fine and began downloading its update, which took a good little while, but, what can you do? Console's gotta update. Now, of course, once the console was done updating, I went on and spent probably the remainder of my day installing several games, and it was actually a few days before the console had finally finished downloading all the games and updates. So, took a little while, but in the past couple of weeks I've had a really good time with the console. No real complaints, everything's been good. That, of course, concludes this video, but I'll try to have more videos on the console as I see opportunities to document features about it or my experiences with it. As usual, thanks for watching. I'll catch everyone later.